again. My name is Joshua Madden. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I am now a rising second year. So, let's just preface this conversation with saying I'm so happy and I'm highly appreciative of having this opportunity to even interview for a spot on the admissions team. Um, Man, I'm speechless about it. But I can just give you guys a background of who I am and tell you about my first year of medical school, right? So, first year of medical school, I can say it was very eye opening. Um, I can say there was nothing that could really prepare you for that, especially coming from undergrad to that experience was something different. Especially with the new curriculum and like the way that learning had to change from what I had prior to. But it was great. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about resilience. I learned that I can actually do more than I think I'm able or capable to do. And my mind and my brain can like pretty much memorize and remember a lot more things than I've ever thought. So as for first year, I think that it was very eye opening, but it had, you know, its ups and downs in terms of, you go through medical school and you think it's okay. You get this good spirits about it in the beginning and you're, pretty energized. But then you have those long nights of studying and different things that may come about. And you feel like bogged down, tired, mentally, physically, and things like that. But then you persevere, get through it, and you study, and you see your grades come out, and they work out well. So at the end, I think that my progression was pretty much upwards. Started out pretty decent, and then ended really great. So let's move on to our next topic. Now, what interest groups what am I a part of? Okay, so coming into medical school, you're like, okay, I want to just get my feet wet first with understanding school, but then you end up joining in different interest groups because you say, okay, it seems pretty cool. It may fit me, it may not fit me. And so the things that I got into were SNMA, which is a minority group for medical students that promotes diversity within the medical school. We are probably one of the largest or the largest organization on campus that has the most events, from community service to outreach, campus out to outreach to other like mentoring programs to cultural awareness, through events for having fun for the rest of the class, to a lot of different things. Actually, food drives and everything, which is like a very great eye-opening experience as well. Especially me not being from Dayton and seeing the dynamics and demographics of Dayton and seeing where it's affected and inflicted by certain things and being able to be a solution to some of those situations. Another thing that I actually got into was something called Steps Up, which is a mentoring. Well, I wouldn't really want to say mentoring. Let's say counseling type of program. So we went to homeless shelters, we went to women's shelters, and we went to recently released prison inmates or prisoners that were recently released from prison, and we dealt with them in a more sensible way. Like we really worked with counseling them and talking to them about their lives and being more of a listener, and allowing those people to have that time to vent, allowing those people to have that open, free space to just talk about how life is for them. And a lot of times those people are neglected. They're, passed by and no one really cares about what they have to say. And they just assume that, they are whatever their circumstance is. But it's not necessarily true. And I knew that growing up, but it really solidified it, especially when I was on the other side of it this time and I was the person to be able to help. And it's just like one of those experiences that is just, it's worth it. It's always worth it, but it's just life changing. And I think that I would literally promote that for a lot of students coming in. That Steps Up would be a great program for you to really get your feet wet in terms to understanding patient care in terms of the social aspect and mental aspect of things. We also took blood pressures and blood sugars and promoted healthy habits, which was also there as well. I'm also a part of the surgery interest group and the emergency medicine interest group as well. Those are just subspecialties that I'm quite fond of and that I could see myself potentially going into, but I'm still kind of open on what I want to do with career-wise. Surgical interest groups, we did like a lot of simulation labs in terms of surgical techniques and doing a lot of suturing and then having some talks and learning how to scrub into the OR and visits. EM group, I got into that towards the latter portion, so those things we were able to just kind of go around the ER and see how that works, seeing the helicopter pad, and then also going to different panels as well. Beyond that, I'm now a part of orientation group or orientation leader. I'm a co-leader with Justin Anderson, and with that with that group, I would say that we just kind of deal with orientation. We trying to just do the things that trying to pick up the slack where there's any slack, or trying to help out where we can. And we're just kind of just monitoring like the picnic and helping the students transition better, having some type of input on seeing like maybe students may like this from how our experiences were for orientation week. And so I'm quite involved, I would say. Pretty much everything that you can think of, I try to like dabble in just a little bit. And I'm also a part of FIRO, which is a community outreach program. So I went to New Orleans this year during spring break, and we built houses in the heat and a lot of different things like that, which was awesome in terms of like actually seeing a project being started from like scratch, and then actually seeing a framework of a house and like how much work you put in, and actually having like a productive picture of what it actually looks like, and know you're doing it for a good cause. Like I could have gone off and done some different things for like spring break and had more fun or things like that, but actually working in like the sacrifice, making that sacrifice in order to help somebody else get a home and have some type of security actually meant more to me at the end of the day when I actually finished the program or finished that project. It really resonated with me a lot in terms of like, certain things we have to sacrifice in order for the next person to actually have a decent life. They're rebuilding, so just a decent life, a quality of life. The next thing I would say is we should get into the things that I'm doing this summer. So this summer I am working as a program assistant in Horizons in Medicine, which is a program for minority students to get accustomed to medical school, or to basically understand how medical school works. They're high school students, and just trying to improve the diversity of medical students. And that program is very different. Have not been in high school for a while, but what I've learned from that is patience, for sure. Understanding how to be more of a listener, how to be more of an advocate, how to be more of a confidant for someone who is younger than I am, and pushing someone as well is something that I really do. And I try to like mentor while also teaching students like tough subjects like biochemistry and things like that. And that's what I'm doing this summer. And I'm also doing research as well in emergency medicine on new onset of atrial fibrillation in geriatric trauma patients. Not as exciting as Horizons in Medicine, I would guess, but it's exciting to me. And for our last part, what do I like to do for fun? In medical school, you're just happy to actually have something to do, or time to do something for fun. So my thing to do for fun is I actually like to write. I'm currently trying to write a book. It's kind of hard to get that in there, the chapters in there with reading and certain things like that, but I'm kind of working through it longitudinally. And the next thing I do is like I really love cooking. So I try to find different recipes to try out. I have an app called Tasty that has different recipes that will pop up on my phone and says, okay, try this. So I try to create everything from scratch and try to eat more healthily throughout medical school, because you see how that can really affect your body and affect your learning a lot of times. And so that's what I'm doing now in terms of my fun aspects of things. Hanging out with friends is always there, but cooking is just, I don't know, it's just really great for me. It's relaxing. It helps me do my creativity time and different things like that, and I just love it. So that's just pretty much a synopsis on me, Joshua Madden, soon to be MD.